Hi friends, Astrologer Joseph Anthony here, and welcome to this month's New Moon Outlook. This one for January 29th, 2025, and I've titled this new moon, The New Moon of Hopeful Optimism. And that's what it looks like here. We're looking at a new moon in the sign of Aquarius that's going to be making a very favorable alignment to Jupiter, which is about expansion, which is about hope for the future, which is about information technology. So there's a resurgence of optimism here during this new moon. And so this new moon cycle will last for a couple of weeks. Usually it's 2 weeks until February the 12th, when we have a full moon that's going to be activated in the sign of Leo. And that could bring some endings, some awarenesses, and some conclusions. So over the next 2 weeks, definitely a good time to make some short-term plans, or one of the things that is going to be really nice about this new moon is the ability to see the future a little bit better. The sign of Aquarius has to do with the future, and Jupiter has to do with the future. So what I mean by that is our spidey senses will be picking up on something coming down the road, possibly even the next couple of weeks, the next month, or the next year. So as long as you're in tune with it, you'll be able to see that flash or that event in your mind, or you'll feel it and you'll know that this is the right thing to do. But anyway, we have 2 weeks of optimistic energy that's coming in. I've got some charts here. I will be touching upon the United States' chart. I'm not going to go too heavily into politics in this video. And I want to show you what this new moon looks like. Okay, so let's dive in and take a look. So this is going to be in the sign of Aquarius. So we have all 12 signs in our birth charts. So wherever Aquarius is in your birth chart, that's the area that's going to get activated. And new moons represent new opportunities. So this is a new opportunity, to improve, to look towards the future, to have some optimism, to be hopeful. And that's what the sign of Aquarius is all about. The symbol of the man with the water bearer, this is not just physical water, but it's knowledge, it's wisdom, it's the flow. And this is why the zodiac symbol represents two jiggly lines, or two squiggly lines. It also represents current. Water is current. Electricity, all of that stuff falls under this umbrella. So the energy is very static. It's very much not calm and not moving. It is moving, absolutely. So these next 2 weeks, there's a lot of movement going on. Uranus, also the planet is associated with Aquarius, will be going direct right after the new moon. So we have more energy coming in. It's an element of air, which represents thought and communication. And there's the constellation. But the sign of Aquarius is about humanity. It's about the collective. It's about the hopes and wishes and dreams for the future. It is about the community. This is what it represents. So over the next 2 weeks, we'll find ourselves, wanting to be around more people, wanting to communicate, maybe all kinds of ideas coming to mind. So the new moon activates all that energy. So here are some of the basics of the Aquarius, foundation, the traits of the sign. So every sign has positive and negative traits. I'm not going to go through all of them, but as you can see here, this is a sign that's very independent, very idealistic, very much a humanitarian, can be very friendly, very creative, innovative. This all falls under the umbrella of Aquarius. So you'll find yourself over the next 2 weeks, wanting to do new things or try new things or experience something different. That's what the Aquarian energy is all about. Now, on the negative side, of course, it could be very unpredictable, emotionally detached. Aquarius is the most emotionally detached sign of the zodiac. Aloof, rebellious, calculating, distant, restless, chaotic. I mean, this is the kind of energy that Aquarius has. It's a very unstable current. And so it's just the way it works. So things pertaining to electricity, things pertaining to flow, like water, like power outages, stuff like that, all falls under the umbrella of this Aquarius. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's possible. We're seeing a lot of changes here in the United States with that, especially with these storms that come out of nowhere. And so we're seeing some of that. But this, for the most part, on a personal level, is about innovation. It's about thinking outside the box. And so for many of us, we are going to be doing that in the next 2 weeks. So this new moon gives us an opportunity to do that. So I highly suggest you embrace that, okay? So here is the new moon in Aquarius chart. It happens here. I use the East Coast of the United States at 7:36 a.m. Right there, it's 9 degrees at 51 minutes past the hour. And so this symbolically represents an energy in the mind, in the future, and it sets the tone for the next 2 weeks. And notice the conjunction with Mercury and Pluto, even though they're not as close, but there's still a conjunction here. So this is about the mind, and this is about power and transformation. So this energy is absolutely being activated, obviously in the United States, but also around the world. But this is going to give us a wonderful opportunity to see the future, as I said. Now, one of the things that I like to do around new moons, especially around eclipses, solar eclipses are about major new turning points, and we have one coming up in March, the end of March, and lunar eclipses are about endings. And so anytime we have a new moon throughout the year, it's nice to do a little meditation, just quietly meditate to yourself and go, something like this new moon, I would do something like this. I would go, universe, higher consciousness, show me the near future and what's important. Bring me that information. And that's how you ask. You ask direct questions, you will get a direct answer. If you're wishy-washy or you're sitting there going, oh, please, God, bring me this, bring me that, the source is not going to bring you anything because it's responding to your fear. I hope you folks could see that. It's about just basically saying, to yourself and your higher consciousness or your oversoul, if you will, that you need to have this come to you. And what is it that you want come to you? And so you put those wheels in motion. Now, I would do this today, as I'm doing this video on the 28th, and tomorrow, and then you could stop doing it. Don't ask anymore, and let it go, and just know that the information will show up. So this is all about that energy. So this shows also a very favorable alignment to Jupiter. There it is at 11 degrees in Gemini at 20 minutes past the hour, but it's in retrograde, which is not a big deal here, but it is making a very favorable alignment to Jupiter. So this adds another element of visionary ability. This is why I said this is a very much a visionary and optimistic new moon. Jupiter is generally optimistic. Aquarius energy can be optimistic, but they don't show it because they're not a very emotional sign. And so this is optimism. This is hope. This is about the future. This is about ideas and premonitions. So like I said, this new moon is going to activate a lot of energy in the other realms of consciousness, which is, non-physical. But when we also look at what's going on here with this Pisces energy, we've got Saturn, Venus, Neptune, and now the North Node is officially in Pisces as well. The North Node just came out of Aries, now goes into Pisces, and I'm going to cover these alignments also. But notice during this new moon cycle, we have a conjunction going on here between these bodies, and they all happen to be in Pisces. Pisces is a very psychic sign. This is the symbol that represents, living between realities, what's real and what's not real. And so this is going to add another element of sensitivity and imagination to this new moon. So I'm seeing a lot of air and a lot of water, even Mars in retrograde Cancer. So we're seeing so much sensitivity and so much energy here having to do with spirituality. Many may begin to embrace religion more during this time because of all of this alignment here in Pisces. Pisces represents religion. And so we're going to see a lot of that as well. Now, the ruler of the new moon is Uranus. Now, Uranus will go direct or begin to go direct tomorrow on the 30th. And so this is going to get activated as well. So once the ruler starts moving forward over the course of the next couple of days, it will continue to innovate and change and bring us new revelations, new awarenesses. Our focus will shift from inner to outer. It's in the sign of Taurus, which represents foundation, stability, finances, the physical resources. This is what Taurus represents. And Uranus is revolutionizing that area. The last 6.5 years, Uranus in Taurus has been showing us our belief system, what's real, what's not real. It's been shifting our food, our production of food. I mean, the farmers all around the world have been, fighting with their governments because their governments are trying to shut them down. We're seeing financial system, the cryptocurrencies. We're seeing, Mr. T talking about doing away with the IRS and restructuring the financial system using crypto. And we see this around the world. So this is what Uranus and Taurus has been doing. And so this is going to wake up now and move forward again, and will not revisit Taurus until the end of the year. So it'll dive into Gemini in July, which is going to be very innovative. But right now, for the next 2 weeks, this is going to bring in, again, much more visionary ability. So between the Jupiter alignment, Uranus waking up, and the new moon activation with all of these planets here, looks really good. This is why I call this one hopeful optimism. So take advantage of it, even if it's on a small level, in the next 2 weeks, to do something that makes you feel good, that you really want to try or do out of the ordinary. Okay, so take advantage of that. Now, again, I'm going to focus a little bit on the United States, not too much, but notice where the new moon is activating in the second house of income and values. So this is symbolic of financial changes. Mr. T has, again, talked about getting rid of people in government, downsizing, which saves them money, talking about getting rid of $2 or $3 trillion out of the budget, and so on and so forth. This is going to be active over the next 2 weeks. This has to do with finances. This has to do with people. This has to do with technology, because we're talking about Aquarius here, okay, in the second house of the United States. We're seeing Jupiter making that alignment here. So look at Jupiter sitting right on Uranus in the United States, which means innovation and change that's going to shift. Now, Jupiter is going to wake up in February. And now we have Uranus that's also waking up on the 30th. So these two are basically going to move this energy forward, and they will activate this Uranus here. And basically, innovation and change are on the table. So Mr. T is doing exactly what he promised to do, which is shake things up and get rid of stuff and downsize while trying to build a new system. And again, I implore everyone to pay attention to what's going on. Don't believe everything that you see in mainstream or, what goes on in government, because there's always people behind the scenes making deals, cutting deals, and, wanting things from Mr. T. He did not get to that position without very powerful people behind him that want stuff, okay? The people want stuff. The people that put him in power want stuff. I mean, it's a really, it's turbulent behind the scenes. Let's put it that way. But this new moon absolutely shows that innovation and change is on the horizon. And we're going to see it in the next 2 weeks, at least the next 2 weeks, if not over the next 3 months or so, as, alignments keep changing. But here is that little conjunction here that's taking place in the third house of communication. So there could be some more announcements coming in the United States that is going to continue to dissolve things that don't work. One of the powers that Neptune has is to dissolve, to get rid of, to make disappear like magic. And so with this conjunction going on here, as it gets tighter and tighter, there is that possibility of agencies and people disappearing in government that don't belong there anymore. I mean, look at what they're doing with the illegals that are here in the country. They're disappearing from the country, so to speak, symbolically. So, but this is going to be more of the United States in terms of announcements and agencies that are basically, not supposed to be there anymore, and they're going to be gotten rid of. So we're seeing that as well. Okay, so Mars continues its retrograde. It's still sitting on Mercury, so communication and things coming out involving government agencies and all that stuff will continue for quite a while. But we're going to see some significant changes in the next 2 weeks because of this new moon being activated. All right, so also, what we have starting off on the 29th is the Chinese New Year. And this is very important. This is going to be the year of the wood snake. Again, look at all this as symbolism, friends. Okay? It's just understanding cycles in a different way. And the Chinese and their zodiac can be very accurate if you look at it from, their perspective on a larger scale. And I'm going to show you what they're talking about here. What kind of year each year is based on a cycle of every 60 years. So now, if we go back, time is not linear. Time is basically it's just like a giant holographic energy. Okay, so what is taking place in 2025 will mirror or be very similar to what happened in 1965. Because that was the last time we had the wood snake, and the same goes true for the last time we had the metal snake, the fire snake, and so on. And so time ripples out into the future and into the past simultaneously. So as we go into the future, parts of 1965 may reflect themselves or show up in 2025, and maybe in a different way, but it'll be very similar. The theme may be very similar. So this is how time works. So the symbolic of the snake is, it's about, known as the year of the snake, because according to Chinese elements, it's associated with wood and is associated with green. So it's about nature. It's about, the land and so on and so forth, which definitely is the theme this year. So let me just read this for you here and just give you an idea of what's going on here. The year of the wood snake in Chinese astrology begins on the 29th of 2025 and ends on February 16th, 2026. It's based on the lunar cycles. So explanation, the year of the snake is celebrated during Lunar New Year, as known as the Chinese New Year or Spring Festival. So the date of Lunar New Year changes each year because it's based on the moon, the phases of the moon. The year of the snake is associated with the snake, the sixth animal sign in the Chinese zodiac. The snake is said to symbolize wisdom, charm, intuition, strategy, and elegance. The wood element in 2025 emphasizes adaptability, creativity, and long-term planning. Absolutely. It's not like the iron snake or the metal snake, which is very firm and set in its ways. The wood element symbolically represents flexibility. At the beginning of 2025, the world is still under the rulership of the outgoing positive dragon. And so dragons are about change. And so a high action period with plenty of activity is expected. Snake years are sometimes when the world stops to think on the international scene. Governments may be using this time to build up resources for their arsenal. Yes, Mr. T has been talking just today, as a matter of fact, about this missile dome or something that they want to create. It's exactly, building up an arsenal. And so we'll see. But there's something else here I want to show you, which is very important. A mythology recognizes the snake as a creature of healing, which influences the physical body to shift to a more spiritual outlook. A great deal of quiet progress can be made in 2025 with the help of this planetary energy. Honor this transformation beginning every day with positive thoughts. This new moon absolutely is going to activate some positive thoughts. So I would encourage that. The snake year encourages protection, so create a safe space to work and live in by practicing good feng shui to feel safe and secure to ensure the year's energy. This is the year to make headway in methodical and strategic ways. There is no need to exhaust your energy. Adopt the nature of the snake with awareness and a greater sense of timing. Ready to strike when the time is right to maximize the energy of the year. Absolutely. Now, the year of the snake, and here is very important symbol right here. Okay, we have the two snakes intertwined. This is the, what do you call it? The caduceus. And so this is going to be a very important time. Again, it's symbolically representing something to do with health also. And I want to show you what I'm talking about here. This is our DNA. This is that symbol right there. This symbol is very old. Okay, with or without the wings, it's always been there. But this is what it represents. It represents our DNA. Now, one of the things, unfortunately, this year brings upon us several things. One, things having to do with health matters, the medical profession, and I've talked about this in other videos, but notice this one, and I just did this in the last live stream video on YouTube, the AI interface with our DNA. This is what the powers that shouldn't be want. And I went through it I talked about it even more in my inner circle community, unfiltered, because I have to be careful what I say here. But in my private community, I absolutely went much deeper into this. Okay, so I left the link down below for you guys if you're interested in joining the inner circle. There's a 7-day free trial, so there's no obligation. But anyway, my point being is this is what they want. And unfortunately, what I'm seeing here with the astrology for the year, and I talked about this in the 2025 overview, is technology is going to continue to innovate lives. But again, notice this thing over here, which I am not a fan of. Okay, I'm just going to point it out to you. And them messing around with our genes. They're making no bones about it. They're trying to interface the AI technology with our DNA. And so given that we're in the year of the snake, given the astrological alignments that are coming, given the new moon that we're talking about innovation and technology, and moving forward in a progressive mindset, this is unfortunately part of that equation. So we need to really keep an eye on this. If we don't want this, we have to fight this, and say we got to resist it. Like, no, we don't want your injections. We don't want your new system that, wants to change our DNA. And they make it sound like, oh, we're going to cure all the cancers in the world and all the diseases in the world. Bullshit, friends. Okay? Sorry, I have to throw that in there. Anyway, if you haven't seen the video, it's this one right here. It's called Shock and Surprises. And just look for it on my YouTube channel. And you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. All right, so let's get back to the astrology here, because let's show you why it's so important. Now, this is the North Node that just entered Pisces, okay? And then we have the South Node in Virgo. They're always on opposites. But both of these symbols represent the medical profession. One is the spiritual and psychological, and the other one is the physical body and the daily routine. So these two are going to be activated for the next 18 months. And being that we're in the year of the snake, you think we're going to have issues or things related to health and well-being? Absolutely. And so we have to keep an eye on this. And so there may be another event or something else that's propelled upon us concerning health matters, outbreaks, diseases, food contamination. All of this stuff is in the works here, friends. So I have to just plant the seed here, not out of fear, but out of, this is the trend and the cycle that we're seeing here. Now, how does that fit in with the new moon? This is a futuristic new moon. So we have to look into the future and see, what are the possibilities here. So the more of us that understand that, the more we could change the future. The future is not written in stone, friends. As the collective, the community, Aquarius, comes together and wants change, it will get that change. Mr. T is a perfect example of that. Most of the United States voted for Mr. T because they want change. They got what they wanted, right? So it's the same concept here when we're talking about trends and cycles. If enough of us pay attention and go, nope, we don't want that. Yes, we do want this, the better it is for all of us. You get it? So it's the collective consciousness. So these are the themes that I'm seeing here. So let's continue. One of the major themes here with the North Node, and this is the time frame that it's going to be in, is during this period, the focus will be on embracing themes of compassion, spirituality, creativity, and intuition, while letting go of over-analysts' perfectionism and excessive practicality associated with the South Node in Virgo. This transit encourages trust in the flow of life, emotional healing, and exploration of imagination and spiritual realm. Now, one of the things that Pisces, like I said earlier, represents is religion. And so we are going to see in the next 18 months a resurgence of religion. All three of the major religions are going to be playing a major role in the next 18 months. And so it really starts this month with this new moon, because Uranus is waking up, and I will get to the Neptune energy in a second with the North Node, but you can see it right there, the North Node at 29 degrees, along with Neptune, the ruler of Pisces. But Uranus in Taurus wakes up right here in the morning on the 30th, right there. It's in stationary position before it starts moving direct. Now, this is going to be huge, because we have this innovative technology that's saying we need to change. We need to go in a new direction. We need to change our values. And we're going to see it. And it's going to get activated. And so from now until, I would say, somewhere in September, October, Uranus is going to play a major role in society, symbolically. And we're going to see the most significant change around July. So it's either going to be June or July where we're going to see some major innovations that are going to come through. And this new moon is kind of setting the stages on a smaller scale right now. So this is why I suggest everyone to really, focus on the future. Just that simple meditation that I provided. Universe, higher consciousness, show me the near future. Show me what's important. Show me and bring me that information. And then let it go. Best time to do it is when you're right before you're going to sleep. Or I've done it before when I get into the gym and I'm exercising about 10, 15 minutes into my workout. I'll start saying that to myself and then I'll go back to my workout. And all of a sudden, I will get information coming to me maybe an hour later, 2 hours later. That's how it works. You put that thought, that intention out into the higher realms of consciousness. And when you detach from it, it shows up. So Aquarius and all this Aquarius energy that's being activated, all this Uranus energy, the Jupiter and Gemini energy that's all being activated during this new moon is very positive energy. So utilize it. And I'm just suggesting utilize it in a way that you could see the near future. And so you could better make better decisions. Okay. So this is really, like I said, it's a very optimistic 2 weeks. Now, let's go to this Venus conjunct Neptune. This is going to be on the 1st. Look at what's going on here. Venus is now in Pisces, which is about sensitivity, emotions, nostalgia. It's about being more compassionate and understanding. And it's conjuncting Neptune, which is, again, sort of a lower octave. They're on the same octave wavelength, both in Pisces, and the ruler of Pisces is Neptune. So this is a very magical alignment. Okay, it's very spiritual. It's very intuitive. It is, it's just seeing things for what they are. It's seeing, things that are imaginary. It's seeing dead relatives. It's seeing, the other world, which is non-physical. When you dream and your consciousness is moving around, that is your spirit seeing other realms of consciousness outside of your physical body. And this is what these alignments represent. Now, the positive stuff about this is you may be telling people you love them and you care about them, and they think you're special, and so on and so forth. And it's about giving. It's about sensitivity. And notice this little activity that's going on. It's very strong. Even Saturn's in the mix, manifesting. But the North Node here conjuncting these is very symbolic of a major announcement or a major revelation, or something significant that can appear around this time that could be almost magical or too good to be true. All right. Now, the one other thing that I have to put out there, because we're looking at a lot of Pisces energy, Pisces and Neptune represent the water. So we have to pay attention to anything to do with water, the weather, which is moisture, which is water, anything to do with oil. There could be announcements being made about oil. Maybe, I know Mr. T's been talking about drilling oil in the United States. We also have Mars in Cancer, another water sign. So there's a lot of emotion here. But it could be very happy emotion because of the new moon being activated in such a positive way to Jupiter. Okay? But this is also about possibly dissolving something that's not working in your life anymore. Remember, I said Neptune energy can dissolve. Take physical matter and dissolve it into a gas or dissolve it into the ethers. And with the North Node, they're adding the direction. This could be something that's ending. It could be Mr. T makes a major announcement about one of the agencies, like getting rid of the IRS, and replacing it with the external revenue service. I mean, this is very possible in the next 2 weeks, making it official with an executive order or trying to pass it through Congress or whatever he's going to be doing. Okay, this is what I'm getting at. So a lot of us will, if that happens officially, we'll be pretty excited about it. So anything is possible here. It's almost like magic. It appears out of nowhere with this conjunction. Okay, so pay attention to that. Also, later on that day, I mean, the conjunction gets even tighter with the moon. The transiting moon is right in there. So I'm expecting some major announcements on this day, either from close friends and family, in your personal life, just feeling like, you know what, I've got to do something different in my life. And the new moon is giving you the courage and the impetus to move forward in a new direction or try something new, or, just feel more sensitive than normal and begin to understand yourself on a spiritual level. And like I said, some people may turn to religion, but this is really strong energy that's coming in here on the 1st. So depending on your birth chart, depending on who you are and what's going on, this will affect you, especially if you're a Pisces or you're an Aquarius. This energy is very strong for you if you have a moon sign in there, in these signs, or you have a rising sign, or if your sun sign is in Pisces or Aquarius. This will affect you greatly at this time. Nothing to be afraid of. It's just giving you a window of opportunity to change. Okay. Now in the USA chart, the alignments again are in the 3rd house of communication and ideas. So again, I'm expecting news announcements about some major changes that are happening in the United States. Like I said, this could also affect water. The last time this happened was with the LA fires. I said, there are going to be issues with water or something related to water. And there was a shortage of water in the hydrants. So this is part of that. Okay, so look for some major announcements coming up right around the 1st. It might happen the day before, right on the new moon. Or it could happen with new moons. It could happen the 1st week or the 1st quarter moon. Okay, so I think some good stuff is going to come out of this. So let's see what happens. All right, friends? Now, let's go into this other one. This is huge, and I cannot emphasize this enough. Venus is going to enter Aries on the 4th, and it will stay there for an unusually long period of time through June the 6th. Why? Because retrograde period starts on March the 1st, going all the way through April the 12th. Okay. Now, once again, if you followed my astrology for 2025, I said it was going to be a tricky first 4 months of the year. And now this is the reason why. This is another planet that's going to go retrograde, which is a personal planet, which means it affects us more personally. Venus is all about relationships, but it's also about finances. It's about our values. And in Aries represents the self. So and by the way, this does not work very well. Venus does not work that great in Aries because Venus is very sort of passive and wants to get along, and it's about fairness and partnerships. And Aries is about the self-interest, self-motivated. It's all about me. And so this is a little bit of a tricky one, especially having to do with relationships. Okay, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I'm just giving you the dates here, guys, so you could have a better understanding of the energy that's coming in. So on the 4th, Venus enters Aries, and where do I have it here? There it is right there. And so this is going to be motivating for many, okay, for at least the month of February. It's going to be very strong. It's going to be making alignments to Pluto, as you could see here, right away within a week or so. So once again, we're seeing transformation having to do with either financial matters in our personal lives or some sort of massive change to a relationship or a situation. Now, fortunately, this is a sextile or will be a sextile, so this could be very favorable. Something new comes into your life, a new person, a new job, a new situation, a new financial matter that could be beneficial is what I'm suggesting here. But Venus in Aries is about moving forward with relationships, moving forward with financial matters, moving forward almost on an impulsive level with all of these areas. Okay. And so this now, Venus leaves the watery realms, the emotional, watery, murky realms of Neptune, now goes into this fiery first sign of the zodiac, which is I'm going to take charge of my life. I don't care what anybody thinks. I need to move forward. And so this is the energy that we have that's motivating us forward these next 6 months, so whatever, 5 months, or, because it's going to be retrograde. So this is going to be very important as well. So now in the United States' chart, I want you to notice something here. This Venus enters Aries right there. It's going to hit that bottom part of the chart. It'll be in the 4th house. So we're going to continue to see major developments in the United States having to do with either military, these deportations that are taking place, absolutely. But this could also raise the level of conflict. And so what that means is maybe some of these sanctuary cities will be fighting the government and resisting what the deportation executive orders are calling for. So we may see some more conflict coming up in the United States, unfortunately. It's just part of the changes, friends. I'm sorry to have to say this. But as Venus also gets into this house, it begins to square, as you can see here, Venus in the United States' chart begins to square Venus transiting and Jupiter, and then eventually it'll get close to 13 degrees. It'll stop at 10 degrees before it goes retrograde, and it'll go retrograde back. So we have some challenges, yes, coming up with this Venus squaring Venus, Venus squaring Jupiter. Okay? So it's just the way it works. But I still see this as the next 2 weeks is optimistic and change that is necessary in order for us to benefit somehow on a personal level. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now, the other benefit here is on the 4th, later on in the afternoon, Jupiter, which has been sleeping for, 4.5, 5 months, 4 months or so. And so Jupiter goes direct as well on the 4th. So now we have this other energy that's coming into play. And I don't have a chart for that. I mean, I could go back to this one here. There it is in stationary position. Okay. And Jupiter will be moving forward and hit 12 degrees, which is the partnership sector of the United States. But in our personal lives, it's about ideas. Things are percolating, optimism, wanting to travel, wanting to explore. So you can see how this new moon is activating all this positive energy. It's activated the Uranus, it's activated the Jupiter, and even Venus in Aries is motivating us. So the energy level should start picking up, even though Mars is in retrograde, friends. So we need to take advantage of this one as well. Okay, again, it's still a visionary time. So pay attention to that spidey sense, all right? But the big news here is this full moon in Leo on the 12th. This is going to be very important, and I'll show you the chart in a second, because Leo is about creativity. It's about family. It's about, motivation. It's about having fun. But a full moon brings things to light. And so we're going to see some very interesting dynamics around this full moon or leading up to this full moon. It's going to be at 24 degrees of Leo. And this is going to be very important because when we look at the full moon chart here it is at 24 degrees. The sun is at 24 degrees. The moon is at 24 degrees. But the problem we're going to have with this one is Uranus is still in the mix, squaring both of these. So we have another T-square coming in. Every time we have these strong T-squares to the outer planet like Uranus here, it's a surprise. It could be, announcements that are made that are just startling and shocking. And of course, with Mr. T, you never know. He's a total wild card. He's got the Uranus-Sun conjunction in Gemini. So he's like a chameleon. He could change at a moment's notice. We've also got Mercury conjunct the Sun. So communication is going to be very vital here for most of us. So this is a time where we break free or we try to change ourselves. So between the new moon in Aquarius and now the full moon in the opposite sign of Leo, we are finding that we need to change on a personal level. And this could be, like I said, leaving a job, moving away, deciding to change your eating habits, exercising, looking at the world in a different way, whatever it is. So I still see this as a positive. I'm not seeing this as a negative, okay? Because even though this is a T-squares put pressure on us in order to change. And so this, again, is very strong energy that's coming in, very innovative energy that's coming in. So we'll see what happens politically in the United States. I think I've got a chart here. Yeah, I do. We'll see what happens here politically in the United States, because look at this conjunction here of the United States' moon. And there is the moon right there opposing it. So we're seeing this sort of push and pull right over the United States' third house and squaring the Uranus in the 6th. So this is, again, health and well-being. This is about help and daily routine. So we may see some more changes in the United States having to do with farmland, having to do with technology, having to do with sudden announcements about something new that's coming in, maybe a financial system, maybe getting get rid of some agencies like Mr. T has promised. So this is what's on the table here, friends. Okay, and it gets a little more volatile around this full moon. Let's put it that way, friends. And so we'll have to see how it plays itself out. But everything to me, as you could see, the oppositions always cause a little tension, but it's like lighting a little fire under us to motivate us. That's what it's like. Under the Aquarius energy, Aquarius is all about unpredictable energy coming in. So it could be power outages. It could be strange weather anomalies. It could be spaceships, spacecraft, all the drone stuff. This could be major announcements about that as well. There seems to be a strong push in that area. So it could be anything related to that as well. But since Uranus is in Taurus, it has to do with our value systems. What's real, what's not real. And as I've said in many other videos, we are in the Great Awakening, friends. It's no longer sticking our heads in the sand and going, I don't want to know about that. I don't want to know about that. No, you're going to be shown what's real and what's not real, whether you like it or not, or whether you're the person you support or not. I mean, it's just coming all out. You can't stop this, okay? And so that's what this energy is doing. So there you have it. There's the new moon outlook. If you want to know more, and I've gotten so many people that have come in for the free trial, which I'm so grateful for. Some stay, some. But there's a 7-day free trial. There's a link down below. And again, I do extended monthly horoscopes there. I do the weekly overview, which is really important, because I do, the trends, the patterns that are happening for the week ahead. We do remote viewing. I give targets every 2 weeks. We focus in. I try and help people, understand remote viewing and how that works. And people send me their birth charts, and I answer questions for them on the Sunday Zoom calls. So consider joining, at least taking advantage of the 7-day free trial. And you can connect with other people that are very much on the same page. There's a lot of interaction with all the members on both sites. I have a free site and I have this site. And so there's a lot of interaction, and I enjoy talking to everyone on the Sunday Zoom calls. And so consider joining, okay? So always remember, friends, we are spiritual energy beings, beautiful energy spirit beings in these physical suits having the human experience. That's how it works. And so always remember that, friends. All right? So I look forward to talking to you soon. And, let's change this world for the better. All right. Bye for now.